Maybe you don't care about sports at all, but Mo's going to make you care about sports because it has to do with murder.
So for so many years now, a lot of sports fans have wondered what happened in that locker room the day that there were guns involved, 2 NBA players that ended up leading to one of the NBA players having to spend years in prison for murder. We haven't known what has happened until now. This was back in 2009. There was an incident that happened in the locker room. It is a now famous incident that involved 2 players. One's name is Gilbert Arenas. The other is Javaris Crittenton.
That dude went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He went, and they were both really, really good. Now, Gilbert Arenas was one of the best players in the NBA.
Who they play for?
Washington, the Wizards.
Okay.
Gilbert was one of the best players in the league by far, so it'll kind of play into why his treatment was a little bit different. Javaris was a really good player, not as good as Gilbert, didn't have the popularity that Gilbert had. And there was an incident where everyone knew that there was a fight in the locker room and they didn't know exactly the details, but they knew that there was a gun involved. And both players ended up being suspended for over a year and actually had to plead guilty to having weapons in an NBA facility.
And you can't, I mean, if you think about it, well, why wouldn't they just look at the footage? But it's a locker room where people are getting dressed and undressed. So you're not going to have security cameras in a locker room because that would be weird.
Exactly. So Netflix now has this new Untold series. It's called Untold Shooting Guards. And the players that were actually in the locker room.
Really? Shooting guards?
It's kind of a...
I've seen this, but I didn't know what this was about. I just thought they were literally highlighting shooting guards in the best shooting guards in the NBA.
No, this is about how 2 shooting guards got into an incident and it literally ended the career and maybe even the life and to an extent of one of them. And this is the trailer of the series that tells you through the players' eyes what exactly happened in that locker room that day.
We're in front of the team. So now you got all the players like, oh, yeah, what you gonna do, Gil? You see Andre Blatch take off his headphones. People start sitting up because they hear it's getting real. It's getting intense. I take my headphones off. I'm like, okay.
Yo, when you drive into the arena, I'm gonna throw gasoline on your car and burn it while you in there. That was my threat to him.
You ain't finna set my car on fire. Why? We ain't gonna play like that. You know what I mean? We're gonna respect each other.
What I was doing was purposely to irritate Javaris. That's what I do. So you can just see him just fuming.
If you shoot up my car, I'm gonna shoot you in them bum knees you got.
I was like, it's already bad. What do I give a for? Well, I'm gonna shoot you in your good knee. You my good knee. You done took it too far.
You keep talking about fighting, like I play with guns. You better ask about me.
My comeback was, I want to see you do it. I'll bring you the guns.
I bring you a gun. I dare you to shoot me tomorrow.
Are you man enough? Do you have 2 of these to shoot me? You ain't got the cojones to do nothing like that. You ain't even built to do nothing like that.
This sounds like a skit that Dave Chappelle put together.
You would think.
I'll shoot you with the good knee. My good knee? Now you got too far.
That's why when you actually get the details of this story, it's so ridiculous because, okay, these are 2 millionaire men, right, who are both made it to the NBA. They are on a jet. They're on a jet going from one game to another. All of this started over a poker game. I guess they play poker games on these jets all the time. And they talk a lot of trash. Somehow the trash talking got a little out of hand because Gilbert Arenas was known for being like a clown on the team. He was always doing pranks, always messing with people. Javaris, that's not really his personality. He likes to stay to himself. That's not his thing. And then at some point while they were talking, Gilbert was like, what you gonna do about it? You get, like, once he realized that he wasn't engaging, he was trying to provoke him. And it worked. So then Javaris had said at some point, I'll shoot you. And then Gilbert said, I'll bring you the gun. And he literally did that.
You brought him the gun?
Gilbert Arenas brought a gun to the NBA arena, went into the locker room, and placed the gun on Javaris's chair at his locker. So when Javaris walks in the locker room, he sees it, and he's like, what is this about? And Gilbert is just sitting there with his arms crossed like, shoot me. What? This is right before an NBA game. This is all happening. So Javaris takes the gun and throws it. I guess because he's angry, and then all of the players kind of jump and scatter around because he's throwing what they believe to be a loaded gun. And then at that point, like a tussle ensues. Yeah. They come in, they break it up. But eventually the team finds out that Gilbert Arenas had brought a gun in the locker room. Then apparently Javaris had his own gun in his bag. So he took out his own gun, said, I don't need your gun.
What?
I'm going to use my gun. So then they played the game like nothing happened. And then after the game, once the NBA found out, that's when the 2 players got suspended. Now, Gilbert Arenas was suspended for a year, and then pled guilty to a misdemeanor gun charge. They both did. But Gilbert came back into the league, played for a couple of more seasons, but he was never the same. Javaris ended up getting kicked out of the NBA because no teams would pick him up after that because he wasn't that good. Because Javaris' career ended, he ended up going back to his hometown where there was nothing good going on. He got involved with a gang. He ended up getting robbed for over $55,000 worth of jewelry. So at that point, he goes and looks for the person he believes robbed him. And then it was a mistaken identity. He thought that this guy that he sees in the streets was the guy that robbed him. It wasn't. He tries to shoot that guy. He ends up killing an innocent bystander, which was a woman, a mother of 4.
Oh, my God.
And then he ends up going to prison for it, where he was supposed to do 25 years, but he only did about 10 years they said he did or something like that, because apparently the DA, whose name is Paul Howard, is the uncle of NBA superstar Dwight Howard, and people believe that attachment is why he only had to spend those amount of years in prison and not 25.
Whoa.
So he went from being an NBA superstar to in prison for murder within 3 years, all because of a trash talking game of poker on a jet.
Chappelle went dark on this script. I'll tell you that. What's the name of that show again?
It's called Untold Shooting Guards, and it's on Netflix right now.
The Bert Show.